right, we have to get to Schwarber and Harper because this weekend they were out of their minds. Who do you want to do first?
Well, let's do Schwarber. Well, let's do Harper first because Harper was more important against the Pirates than Schwarber. Okay. Schwarber was more important prior to that.
So he obviously has the big double it's almost out of the park on Friday night. It was a huge hit in a big spot. But I want to talk a little bit about his weekend as a whole and what we saw on Saturday. His home run on Saturday, 457 feet.
Unbelievable.
Out to dead center. In case you're wondering, because I know that we've talked about his ability to get the fastballs. Is it declining? And, is he still the same guy and all this stuff? And I remember back in the 23 playoffs against the Diamondbacks, it was game 5 of the NLCS. They had just lost the 2 in Arizona. You're thinking like, oh my God, are they going to totally fall apart here? And they ultimately did, but they won game 5 before coming back to Philly. And I don't know if you remember it that night, but he absolutely crushed a ball out towards right center field. And that was 440 feet. And I mean, it was violent, like off the bat, you're like, oh my God. This thing was 457. It was his longest home run since 2022. He hasn't hit a ball that far in 4 years. When you talk about like, do you have the power? Are you back? Like that was like just a key indication that like this guy might be as good as he's ever been. It was the eighth longest home run that he hit. And by the way, I don't know, for those of you listening, I work for Sport Radar, which is a sports data company, and I have access to pretty cool database here. So I was able to figure all this out. His 8th longest home run with the Phillies. His longest, by the way, was 470. Robbie Erlin, August of 2020, down in Atlanta.
Well, that's the year we don't remember.
Yeah, that season did not happen. But like, look, I think what's more important here, he slugged 550 against fastballs last year, right? He's slugging 616 against fastballs. That's 4-seamers and sinkers. He's slugging 616 against sinkers and fastballs this season.
We talked a lot about that last year, is how teams were beating him. He was struggling to hit the fastball for slug last year. I know it says 550 is still a pretty decent number, but comparatively, it wasn't great. And then he ended up chasing a lot. So he was missing.
Well, and the product of that was he slugged 421 against breaking stuff last year because he was all over the place going outside the zone. And the biggest difference in his overall numbers, yes, there's an incremental uptick against velocity, but he's slugging 661 against breaking pitches this year versus 421 last year.
Yeah. That's a big difference.
Your season.
Dude. Yeah. I mean, that's it. And look, it's like you mentioned earlier, you just kind of slid it in there. He's top 4 in MVP odds right now? Yeah.
Not a bad bet with that pedigree. He's got the name.
It's legit.
Phillies win 90 games, get back into it.
It's legit. I mean, he's pacing 35 and 105 right now. Home runs and RBIs if you're counting stats. So you're going to hit 280. You're going to get on base at 370, right? And you're going to be this productive of a player like that. He's got a shot.
I point out the 457 out to dead center. That was 97. It was supposed to be more elevated in the zone, but it was up a little bit, and he got around on it. And then yesterday against Skeens was 95.5 sinker that was kind of a little bit more middle than I'm sure that Skeens would have liked, but again, just crushed it. He's right on it. So this whole idea.
And Bama probably pulling this off. I'm assuming this is from StatCast. Expected slug 587, 96th percentile this year.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's hitting the ball hard.
Percentile and expected batting average too.
Yeah.
So
he's hitting the ball hard. Bob, I remember you asking me, I don't know if it was in February, March, whenever we did this. I remember you asking me what I thought Bryce Harper was going to do this year. And I was convinced, just knowing the guy, knowing how he operates, knowing what he pays attention to everything, and he does everything with a purpose, that this was going to be a vengeance year for him. I really felt that.
Somebody on Twitter this weekend, I wish I had it, said like Dave Dombrowski's best move this offseason was pissing off Bryce Harper.
Yeah. I mean, it's not wrong.
Stroke of genius.
It's not wrong, right? Like I agree. I kind of think that was the most important thing that he did this offseason, because I said it to you at the end of the year last year. Like there was just something that just seemed off about Bryce last year. Like he seemed mercurial. He seemed like he was melancholy. He was, and I'm using these big words just for our buddy Chris Freed, who says that I use too many big words on a sports podcast. But like he really was like different. It wasn't that he was wasn't that he was bad. He just didn't seem as into it as Bryce Harper usually seems. Yeah. And so to get Dombrowski saying what he said and have that be the offseason storyline, it totally refocused this guy. And Harper's out there now saying, yeah, don't forget about me, man. I'm still one of the best players in this sport, and I'm going to show you.
So this is exactly where he's trending through 47 games, and he's played them all, by the way. Yeah. 97 runs, 165 hits, 31 doubles, 41 home runs, 103 runs batted in, 90 walks. So he is within reach of doing 100 runs plus batted in, 100 walks, 100 runs scored, 40 home runs, all while flirting with, hitting 280, 290. I mean, this is I don't need to hear the word elite every time he does something good. Like we don't need to do that. I think that that's sort of stale at this point, quite honestly, but fill in the blank, it's certainly that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's great. It's real. It's everything that the Phillies needed from him. And he's got to keep it up. I mean, 47 games is not enough. You can't just sit there and say, that's it. But it's a hell of a start.